This is my General Electric 3-speed reversible window fan. Catalog number F11W3, 2.5 amps. And I've made videos of this before. I actually made a video of me taking it apart and cleaning the motor out and oiling the motor. But I'm going to be taking it apart again today and try to put some felt washers in there because it's making a lot of vibrating noises that it's not supposed to be, and I think it's because of the fact that I put a bunch of hard washers in there to try and get rid of some of the in and out play that it had. So I'm going to try and replace those with felt washers today. Go to the hardware store, pick some up, and hopefully that quiets the motor down so I'll be able to use this thing again. Because I was using it on the front porch, the enclosed front porch on my house earlier this year, but it started getting too noisy, too many vibrating noises from the motor. So, like I said, I'm thinking the felt washers will fix that problem, or at least I'm hoping they will. I did replace the plug on this. Brand new plug. The old one was in pretty bad shape. It actually broke. So now it's fine. And I guess I'll start it up just to show you how it runs now. And we'll go up to high, going outward. Yeah, it's not sounding too good. You get the point. It's not sounding good at all, and I'm hoping it's just a washer issue. I think the bearing in this one is fine. It has a decently long spin down time, so now I'm just going to start taking it apart, and I'm going to wait for the hardware store to open and then go and pick up the parts that I need. I hope they have them. First thing you do is unplug it, then you pull the switch knob out. It's pretty easy to get out. And there's this little nut right here that you can unscrew, and the back plastic cover comes off. And once you get that back cover off, you can turn it around. You got to take this shroud off. This whole thing has to come off, and there's basically 4 of these nuts. 2 of them right there, and then the other 2 on the other side. So you cannot take the blade off unless you remove this from the grill. So then the blade comes off after this has been removed, and then you can take the switch off by unscrewing this one and this one. And then if you want to remove the motor entirely, you can take these screws out as well, but that won't be necessary, so we're just taking the switch off. I'm going to start up another GE fan while I'm working down here so we can get some airflow. This is the 1950s automatic GE fan, electrically reversible, and it's got a thermostat. I'm going to start it up on low. This is the one I had to repair the motor in, because I dropped it and it broke one of the windings. But now it runs great. Okay, I just got the blade off, and you'll notice this washer right here. This is a nylon washer, and the reason it's there is to keep this motor shaft from going back too far, because unfortunately this has the same problem that another one of my 50s GE fans have, and that's that this shaft is able to move in and out of the rotor. so it's not really secured in place, at least as far as in and out movement is concerned. It still spins with it, but I could just push this in and it would go in too far. So this is probably transferring some vibration, so I'm going to replace this with a felt washer. And once I get the back plate off and everything, I'll pull the rotor out and probably put some more felt washers in there as well. Switch is off, and as you can see, I already have drilled the hole and taken this apart before, so this is nothing new for this fan. I'm going to go ahead and pry it off real quick, and then we'll go from there. And now that the plate is off, it's time to take this oil wick out and then get that C-clip off the motor shaft so we can slide the rotor out. Rotor is out. Put the washers that go on the back right here. Got a felt washer on there, so that's good. And there's the big rotor. And then you can see in there we got some washers too. That is a nylon washer, and that's getting replaced with a felt washer, so hopefully that'll help this run a lot quieter. Couldn't find anything that was exactly that size, but I did find these, and these are basically washers that go on battery terminals on cars. And as you can see, they're pretty thick, but I'm going to cut it down to be about the same diameter as that washer right there. So this should end up working just fine. I know the hole is a little big, but still, I think it'll work. Got 2 packages of them. There's 2 in each. Alright, so it ended up not being a washer issue that's making the noise. It is, and you'll notice there's something missing there. It's because the shaft was loose in the rotor. I was actually able to pull it out of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Gorilla Glue adhesive on that, see if that works, and if it doesn't, I will drill a hole, get a tap, and put a set screw in there. But for now I want to try the Gorilla Glue. Alright, so I put Gorilla Glue inside of the rotor where the shaft goes in, and I put it around here where I'm pointing. So I'm letting it dry for a while, and we'll see if that works. Used Gorilla Glue. So if that doesn't work, like I said, I'm going to drill a hole and put a set screw in there, but I'm hoping this works because I already had this and I didn't have to spend any more money. So maybe it'll be fine. This stuff is pretty strong. Okay, it's the next morning. Pretty early in the morning. It's like 4:28 a.m. Came down to check on my rotor here, and I think the adhesive is dry enough because that's not going anywhere. And some of it dripped on the table right here, and yeah, that feels pretty tough. So it's not spinning without it anymore. The shaft isn't spinning without the rotor moving, and it's staying in place. So I think this is going to work just fine. I just brought the fan motor back over here. So I'm going to put some oil in the bearing, put some oil on this shaft, and put it back in and see how it runs. I'm not going to run it for long because you're technically supposed to let that cure for about 24 hours, and it's probably only been about like 19 hours. But I think it's ready. Alright, motor is pretty much back together. Just got to put the rear plate on and then put the rest of the fan together. Time for the short test run. I don't want to run it too much because, again, I still want that adhesive to cure a little better, but I think this is going to be a lot quieter. Oh yeah, that is a million times better. now that that shaft is tight in the rotor. So I'll continue letting that cure for a few more hours and then we'll give it a full run. But I'm really happy with that. I knew it wasn't the bearing making that noise. Alright, it's been more than 24 hours, so it's time to give this thing its full test run. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go up to high, going out. Much quieter. Yeah, that is a huge improvement. Run on medium. See how it does on that speed. This thing is so quiet. That is awesome. 1.8 amps on low. I'm still waiting for the glue to cure on this one, which is for that other GE box fan over there with the diffuser grill. Figured if it works with this one, it should work just fine with that one. I think this is the only other one I know of in my collection that has that problem. Even the balance is really good. It's on high now, and we're drawing 2.28. See how many watts? 139 watts, 140. Power factor, low, typical for a shaded pole motor. Still running perfect about an hour later. Well, I would definitely call this repair a success. It is running so much better than it was before. Nice and quiet. Still a slight vibration when it's like this, but that has nothing to do with my repair. So I'm going to see what the temperature of the motor is when the blade stops, just because I'm curious. So the motor shell, I measured it with my infrared thermometer. It's about 104 degrees. There we go. About 104 degrees. So it's not as hot as I thought it was going to be. So that's good. I'm glad this repair worked.